Our ninth question, again representing West Nashville, food writer and author Carrington Fox. Ms. Fox.
As a graduate of the Building Construction Program at Tennessee College of Applied Technology on White Bridge Road in West Nashville, I would like to learn what role, if any, you plan to play as mayor to assist more young people onto the path to successful careers in skilled trades.
Thank you, Ms. Fox. Ms. Wilhoit.
Apprenticeship programs. The unions are very good at providing apprenticeship programs and making that a part of any type of contract that we have here in Nashville to be included. When we're speaking about building, it has to be inclusive in reference to those type of programs to ensure everyone's not going to college or don't want to go to college, just say that. So we have to give them options so that they can be able to provide for their families, for their children, for themselves. So I do believe that as mayor, and I know that I would include I would want those type of programs to be included in contracts when it comes to incentives and what have you, apprenticeship programs and those type of training and vocational type of services, opportunities that will be made available to our area 86,000 students in Metro Nashville Public.
Thank you, Ms. Wilhoit. Ms. Brooks.
So I had the opportunity to be with the Tennessee School for the Blind. Dr. Tanja Dandy is the principal, Lights Out. And I'm thinking of trade, special education, which is one of the top priorities that will be in my administration. When visiting Murray County, when I was running for the 5th Congressional as candidate, one of the schools had a certificate of completion and worked with companies where they had a pathway from education to a job for those that decided they didn't want to go to college. So we need to work with our special education department, our special education programs, and we need to work with those that want to work with their hands, trade schools, that's at the top of our priority list, but have a pathway from high school to employment, for those that decide that they don't want to go to college.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Mr. Gingrich.
It's true that not every one of our kids is going to go to college. But in MNPS, we should have the premier technical training program in the country. We need to invest in that. We also need to invest in apprenticeship programs. We need to have an economic development effort that focuses on small businesses, entrepreneurs. And as a city, we need to ensure that we are running a purchasing department that is prioritizing investing in people who are starting businesses here in Nashville. That is how we are going to grow our own, how we are going to ignite not just the economy, but the lives of people so that we can grow their incomes and enable them to participate in Nashville's growth.
Thank you, Mr. Gingrich. Mr. Wiltshire.
Given the aging of the workforce in Nashville, there's going to be a huge shortage of plumbers, electricians, a lot of the building trades. We absolutely need to be investing. There was a great program that Mayor Briley created called Nashville Grad that you may know about that helped folks who were going to community colleges and to technical colleges meet the expenses that might prevent them from completing their degrees. And the point I really want to make on this is not just to commend that specific program, but that far too often when we go from one administration to the next administration, there's a whole new set of plans. Instead of continuing and having long-range planning, a community conversation about where we're going, the investment to say, as a city, here's what we want to do, and then having these things extend beyond a particular mayoral administration. What I commit is that we're not just going to create a new plan after a new plan, but take the many plans that we've created for things like workforce development and transit and have long-range action items so that those plans become reality for the citizens of Nashville.
Thank you, Mr. Wiltshire. Ms. Hart.
Thank you. At JUMP, I started the very first workforce development program that we had under Mayor Cardine. And we had Nashville State as one of our partners that actually put over 500 people to work. with the Convention Center and the Omni Hotel. I know that it works. It is living proof. Not only that, but we had over 2,000 people that we recommended for training, and many of them were at Nashville State Community College. So I know that it works, and we have to give alternatives to our citizens. And this workforce development is the major thing that we have. One of the problems that we found, however, was the barriers for people getting employment, and that was the driver's license. So we created a driver's license restoration program in order to get people gainfully employed and put them in a better position with soft skills and hard skills training, and I will continue to do that as mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Hurt. Mr. O'Connell, excuse me.
Thank you. And this is a critically important question because the process of workforce development is one of the critical jobs of the mayor alongside economic development broadly. I arrived here tonight from Lipscomb's campus where Nashville State was actually presiding over a graduation of 500 plus new graduates, many of whom were supported by Nashville Grad. It's an incredibly important program. Just a few weeks ago, I was at the largest graduating class ever of the Music City Construction Careers Program, and I would recommend it to anybody as a great pathway into the building trades with federally certified apprenticeships. All of these things are dots that can be connected more forcefully. We should reinvest in what is now the Power Youth Initiative that offers young people opportunities and this program was created not just to create a summer job program, it was to create the network of effects that happen in a young person's life as they enter the workforce that lead to a lifetime of opportunity. We also have financial empowerment centers that we can connect to everybody coming in and reentry programs through Project Return that can all connect these dots.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connell. Ms. Johnson.
Like I said before, we have to stop this school to prison pipeline and create school to architecture pipeline, school to CEO pipeline, school to corporate pipeline. We incorporate all the businesses and connect them with schools. There was a job shadowing program that I was a part of in high school. And I went to the Chamber of Commerce. I said, hey, where's the job shadowing program? They got rid of it. What? And so we've gotten rid of a lot of the programs that kept kids off the streets. And so I would say investing in our schools has a pretty high ROI, return on investment. I'm one of them. I mean, I was a part of the Mayor's Youth Summit Council. Now I'm running for mayor. So hey kid, you could be mayor one day. We just have to invest in them.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Mr. Yarborough.
This question is near and dear to my heart. For about 3 years before I even ran for the state senate, I spent a lot of time actually recruiting business partners to work in our area high schools to develop those hard skills that people need to enter the workforce and to build those pathways to our technical colleges. I've been on the board of our TCAT. And this is an example that even when we have conflicts with our state government, I've worked with the last 2 governors and the Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development to make sure that we do have pathways for apprenticeships between our high schools and employers to make sure that there are better pathways for our technical schools. And I think that this is a place that the mayor should really be making a priority. We know that the transition, that education does not end upon graduation, and the mayor's office should really drive the entry, retention, and completion of degree programs and technical programs.
Thank you, Mr. Yarborough. Ms. Campbell.
So Dr. Jackson and Dr. Battle are doing such a good job with this, and we talk a lot about all the things that are going wrong. So I think it's good to take a moment to really applaud this particular component of our city and our state, frankly. And actually our state government, this is one place where they're getting it right. They're very, very focused on workforce development. And I was just talking to somebody this morning who was telling me that it's really, really hard to get people to do a lot of the jobs that we need done in our city because they've been priced out. So, so this is, you know, a really good time to continue to support a process that is already working really well. Again, Nashville State's work with MMPS has been incredibly effective, and I'm proud of both Dr. Battle and Dr. Jackson for all the work they've done on this.
Thank you, Ms. Campbell. Ms. Rowley.
Yeah, so this is an area where having a perspective, as I do, from the federal and the state, and then also as a former educator, really matters. Governor Haslam made Tennessee the first state in the country to have 2 years of free community college for every Tennessean. That drove enrollment in our TCATs, and Nashville State and the TCAT there is one of 27 around the state. Senator Alexander worked to take a FAFSA form that was 120 questions that said to our first generation college-going families, we don't want you here. Look at how long these questions are, and brought that down to about 20 questions. That has increased and made Tennessee one of the states that has the highest FAFSA rate and the highest rate of individuals applying for funding so that they can go to school. Here's the next bottleneck we have to deal with at the state level, and that's around the certification of trade teachers in our high schools. We are not alone in Metro Nashville in that challenge, and working regionally, we can actually tackle that problem.
Thank you, Ms. Rowley.